And we are live. Musty Wargamers Season 9, Episode 9.
Hey, everybody.
Well, welcome to the Musty Wargamer Show, where everybody is here to enjoy and paint and talk about their feelings.
Oh, not so much that.
Rusty's kind of chill tonight, you can tell.
He's gotten into the edibles.
That's right.
Whoa!
And, we got I believe we have Chris at Walkabout Games in the house already, which is great. And so, hey, Chris, thanks for joining.
Hi,
Yeah,
Chris.
there he is. Hey,
What's
Chris.
on your mind tonight?
Do a therapy session. Oh, my.
Oh.
Tell us all about it. Anyways, yeah. And so we got two people already, it looks like, at least in the queue or on the docket there. And so do you guys want to just do our little round robin of what's going on?
Yeah,
we can.
All right. Well, Dan, it's not usual to see Rusty in the bottom. Usually you're kind of early bird. So Dan, why don't you go first tonight, and then it'll be Rusty, then me.
Okay. Yeah, for painting, I've been still working on my foot night unit for Old World.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making it. Well, I'm going to paint up 20 of them, but the way I want to do it for the game, I'm going to have 3 ranks of 6. Just, I don't know, for something different. But I want to be able to have 20, so I have to put them in a block of 5x4. But it's been a lot of fun because I want to paint each one individually. But I'm using everything from the old, the early. I don't know if they're early. I think they're the early 90s. The lights here is going to be horrible. This will be too much light. Anyway, it doesn't matter, I guess. You can see it all.
Oh, yeah, no, you can see it there. When you pushed it a little closer, you can see it. Oh, that's better. Awesome.
Anyway, yeah, there was those were I think they were early 90s actually, but you can still buy them not as a slot of base, but as a, what do they call them, puddle bases?
Yeah.
From Foundry. They're the exact same. They're the same miniatures.
Nice.
So you can still buy them brand new. And I'd ordered them years ago. They're more 25 millimeter probably, or a historic 25 maybe. So they're just a tiny bit smaller, but all I did was I just put them on a heroic mound so that when you look at the unit, they've matched in well. Because I'm using all the 5th edition, including the, I think I mentioned it last time, including, which I'll have to take a picture of that. I posted a few on our Facebook Musty Wargamers page.
Yeah.
I think I've done 3 or 4 more since then. And I've been, so it's a combination of a wide range of miniatures, and I've done a bunch of head swaps and body swaps. Did one that I'll post when I paint it. I'm really proud of, that I took one of the questing night, medals. They were mounted questing knights, and their legs were separate from, right at the waist is where they broke it. And so I have the upper body of that, and I cut off the legs off of a Black Tree Design miniature, got that to match and filled with green stuff and pinned. And then I took the arm off since those are mounted, they would have had a lance arm that glued on separate off of the questing knight. I chopped the sword arm off of the Black Tree Design miniature and pinned and sculpted that onto his shoulder, and then had to do just a tiny bit of sculpting for his
chainmail.
No, chainmail's there. They have like the tunic, like the
tabard.
Tabard, yes. And just had to do a little bit of a sleeve on it to match the other one had a sleeve. And I was really happy with how that came out. I haven't painted him yet, but it's been fun just taking because it's really the way I'm painting them and using enough of the old miniatures. It's going to be a real 5th edition look.
Nice.
But using just a wide range, and then I'll have a lot of unique things because I did, like I said, 2 body swaps where I did a lot of conversion, and then a bunch of head swaps with 5th edition mounted plastic knights. Try not to use anything off of the 6th edition knights. I just don't care for them as well. But anyway, I've got I've got 9. I'm almost done with the 10th foot knight here. So that's coming along really well. It's been so fun to do each one individually and try to make each one kind of intricate with some fleur-de-lis or some individual heraldry. I'm trying to hand paint about 98% of it. I've used 2 small decals so far, I think, which I usually end up painting over the top of it to make the shading match with my painted. Otherwise, it looks like a decal. It doesn't match your style.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. So I've been just having a ton of fun with that. And then my next unit I want to work on, which I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I want to make a Grail reliquary, but that's from 6th edition. So there's no 5th edition models, right? So, but Old World uses it.
Yeah.
And I'm using a bunch of things. I'll probably end up in, maybe even at some point here, I'll take a picture. I've got it sitting over here on a piece of cardboard where I keep kind of coming up with my plan, but I've got, because I don't like, I really do like the look of the 6th edition one. I think it's really clever. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's where they're holding up the body of the skull body of the horse, and they're kind of making the body of a horse. And then they've got the skull or the skeletal remains of a Grail knight on that horse. And it's really clever and cool model. And I do have it. I bought it years ago off of eBay for reasonable price, but it doesn't really match the theme as I've talked with Rusty. I like the 5th edition lore where it was real Arthurian, real idealistic, and that was a bunch of like crazed peasant. It just didn't match my theme, so I'm coming up with something that matches my theme. And
cool.
So I've been having a lot of fun getting really creative with that. A lot of it's going to be scratch built. I'm using miniatures from a variety of ranges, some old Citadel, a couple of the 6th edition Citadel battle programs that they look more just like monks, the poses I picked. And it's been really fun to be kind of creative with that. So I'm looking forward to painting that up. That'll be the thing I do after I get done with these foot knights. So
I think this explains why on the 6th edition Facebook group you actually have a bounty on you.
Probably do. I know. And it's funny because I think 6th edition was a wonderful edition, and that's when I started. I think right at the tail end of 5th edition is when I actually purchased some Warhammer fantasy stuff. I got the 5th edition box set, a few models, and had looked through a few of the White Dwarfs at that period. But then literally like a year and a half later, and I didn't have the time and money to really do much with it except oogle and ogle over it. And, I put a few of the miniatures together, and I painted one of the knights and didn't make any progress really on it. And then the 6th edition came out, and then that's when I decided I'm getting a subscription to White Dwarf. And so I followed the entire birth and the entire life progression of 6th edition. That was really the one I was probably most familiar with, never played.
Right.
But I still remember, and I know I've said it before, but when the White Dwarf came out that previewed the 6th edition Bretonians, because I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's going to be new models, and like, oh, this is going to be so cool. And then I remember being so disappointed when I saw the pictures. I was like, I hate them. But
that was your first big letdown from GW.
Yeah, it really was, because everything else, I had the old like 95, 96 complete catalog that I like. The cover, there is no color left on the cover. I have looked through it so many times, and it's been carted around so much, and that's when I first saw some games being played at 5th edition in the 90s being played at a hobby shop, and that's when the walls were full of the red and green blisters, and it's just that, and I just love the aesthetic of all of that. And it was just the 6th edition Bretonians. There are some good models that I do like, but
the 6th edition is when they started going to plastic.
A lot more plastic, but even like the Grail Reliquary and the Battle Monks, or what, Battle Pilgrims, I think they call them. They were interesting models and well done and cool. I guess that's for me. Some of the models I thought were a step backwards, and then I think some of the just the lore and the aesthetics and the painting and all of that was just a bit of a turn up. And I remember being super disappointed, and I didn't buy any 6th edition models back in the early 2000 when that game was live.
The interesting thing, I have mixed feelings because I do love the actual 6th edition rule set. But
Yeah.
the one thing I would say is I really like, Old Hammer, which is 6th edition's kind of more middle hammer, and for people that follow those definitions, like to try to understand where they break down. The thing is it's not that I dislike the rule books and all the artwork that comes before 6th edition, but like the 6th edition very much is like a Mordheim kind of illustration.
Darker. Yeah,
and I really do love it. Like I actually love the 6th edition rule book and Mordheim, like the way it looks. It's not because I like one better or that I don't like the other. But the one thing I will say that kind of goes alongside what you're saying is, I think it really is army dependent too, because
yes,
I find for my high elves that I collected, I have a mixture of both. Like I have really old stuff and a lot of really old stuff, and I have stuff from 6th edition kind of too. I will say that in the high elf army, I kind of prefer the older stuff, probably more along the lines of what you're saying. Like around that time period when they were producing stuff. For my Beastman, I kind of like all of it, to be honest. I like my Beastman that's 6th edition kind of middle hammer stuff, and I also like the stuff that's older. So I think it really just depends on your taste in the army and like what they did and everything.
Yeah, I like a lot
for me, at least for me.
Same, yeah. It's all just aesthetic art. The beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I really like a lot of I like the old hammer undead, but I some of the 6th edition undead to me is amazing. So I mean, it's just whatever hits your buttons, for what you picture or what you find appealing. But I just know for me the Bretonnian range was just really disappointing. I just to me the 5th edition they nailed it, like bam, for me personally. So but anyway, so I've been having a lot of fun painting that, and haven't done any gaming, except I did get together with my oldest brother that lives about 15 minutes from me. Through the winter, we tried to get together and board game. He likes to board game. So we played, I don't know if you're familiar with Flying Frog Productions. They have Last Night on Earth is one of their games. Touch of Evil is a sort of a gothic horror type movie, or a type of a game based on kind of, like if you've seen Sleepy Hollow, the movie, it's like literally that is what the game is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got together and played that. It's very, very, very thematic, story-driven, random. Card draw tells you what happens. You collect items, you power your guy up, and you try to defeat the villain before the town of Shadowbrook, falls into darkness, and you're kind of on a timer. And just the same reasons that I like a lot of the different miniature games, or that tell a story. And you play co-op. You can play it competitive, but we played it co-op and just had a blast with that. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's me. That's what I've been up to.
Cool. How about you, Rusty?
Well, let's see. I haven't. This is the first time I actually sat at my desk and picked up a brush. And since the day after our last show.
Might need to watch a tutorial then or something.
Exactly.
Totally forgot how this works.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I used to like doing this. I don't get it.
It's like we did have on the Saturday after our last show, we did have a BattleTech game. I think I posted that up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we had that. So I have played a game since our last show.
Well, good on you.
I do have to finish painting this model. It's this Hammerhand, this BattleTech miniature.
Oh, there he is. BattleTech, drink.
There we go. Well,
we'll get there.
Yep.
So it's like I'm paint. This is the paint scheme is going to be. So it's going to be a white and green.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm a green fan.
And I'm also have to start. I got to finish this unit of dwarves, regular dwarves.
Okay.
that I started. Last time I put some paint on them was in end of December. So I got some work to do.
Well, then I can beat on your dwarves sometime here before spring, maybe, huh? Or not?
Yeah, it's like the other dwarves, the nicer
them.
dwarves.
Yeah, or maybe they'll beat on me, but whatever.
Yeah, the nicer dwarves don't have as many cannons per se.
Well, they don't shoot fire. And...
Oh, yes, they can.
Okay.
They do have flame cannons.
Well, I didn't know what I was doing very well. A lot of, but it was not. It was you, but also it was me.
Yeah,
I was a poor general,
and it was us.
Yeah, there you go.
There was a little bit of us too, screwing things up. But yeah, we had fun.
No, it was totally fun, and that's how you figured it out, is by doing it. And,
so I do have some dwarves I got to work on. Let's see. Now the reason I haven't been doing any painting is that a friend of mine, his dad was a ham radio operator. He passed away, and I sort of inherited the entire ham shack.
Oh my!
So every weekend for like 2 weeks, I've been going down to the place, and we've been loading my truck up, stuffing it full of radios and equipment and everything. Back behind you, you can see some of the stuff right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll be ready for the apocalypse then.
Yeah, it's like my shack is basically I inherited 30 radios, amplifiers, and all kinds of regular radios, which you can see this little guy right here. This is what I was working on tonight.
Okay.
Is a 1951 GE AM radio.
So do you find
the case
parts?
of it's right up on top, the white thing right there. There's the case for it.
Okay. Can you find parts for those things or what?
You can. Right now, I'm working on changing out I just changed out all the tubes in it.
Okay.
Went through because I have about 1,000 tubes I inherited. So.
Oh, that's handy.
But that's a good thing. So I have that. So I replaced all the tubes in it, turned it on. It's like, and it still got static. So I looked underneath, and a couple of the capacitors were slagged out because they have these old wax capacitors, and they get hot, and then they eventually melt. And
you need a flux capacitor is what you need.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Once I get done, it's like where we're going, we have no reason. So that's what I've been doing. I have restored in the last 2 weeks a 1941 Philco radio, big console type one. That's big cabinet style one.
Oh.
Back behind me, this little guy right there. That's a 1946 Philco transition radio. I think that's what they call it.
Okay.
And I got another one over by my other desk is a 1946 also, but it's white instead of brown.
Oh, those are the ones that are really valuable, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, they're about $50 to $100 when they're restored.
Well, if you need $50 or $100, that's cool. Good for you.
And what's waiting for me is what Patty wants me to restore is I got a 1938 True Tone radio.
Okay.
It's a wood box. It's wood cased. And it had kind of the cool thing about it is that it has an electric eye in it. So when you tune the station in, the eye turns more green, and it's got this little.
Oh.
So is that like the Judas Priest electric eye?
Yes, exactly.
Rusty knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
yes, you familiar with Priest, Dan?
Yeah, yeah.
You are okay.
The electric.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. So today I spent, actually the last week, I have all these radios I've been going through and hooking them up to my antenna and testing them out, see how if they transmit or they receive, labeling everything, how many watts they put out, etc. So I'm gonna put them up on eBay.
Nice. There you go.
That's cool. Good.
So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, that's fun.
Awesome.
And my drink of the night is Dalmore.
Oh, there you go. Dalmore, yeah.
Okay.
We've had that one on the show before, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about a year or more.
Yeah. Year or more since Dalmore. Nevermore.
Nevermore.
There we go.
Never say never.
All right. Before we get onto our, maybe we'll do comments before we get on our topic. I'll just do my update real quick. I'm thinking as far as gaming goes, I might have got a game of, I may have got a game of Pillage in since our last game. I've got a game of.
You have.
That's
Yeah,
what
I think
you
it was
were
a
telling me. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think I got a game of Pillage in, which is really fun. Really enjoyed that. Enjoying the Pillage. I have a game of Adeptus Titanicus next week and a game of Pillage next week. I haven't really been gaming that much in the last week or so. And I got a game coming up also of Test of Honor, which will be fun. That's kind of what I'm painting tonight. I'm painting another house, except it's this one for Test of Honor, except just bigger. I've showed it on my channel, but like this is the one that I did first, and I'm doing this one, which is just basically an upsized version.
Chapelet bleu. It's blue.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I'm working on that tonight while we're chatting about our topic. As far as other stuff, like this is coming, I showed this on my video, but this is coming up like right after. I do the Warlord. I'm doing the Scouts, the Ashigoro Scouts with the Samurai and horseback. And so looking forward to that. And so, and that's my gaming. And as far as drink of the night, I have got 40 Creek.
Ah, good stuff.
So, yeah, it's very nice. Got the Costco size gigantic bottle here.
Nice.
So I'm going to have a little bit of catching up on the BattleTech here.
It's all right. There's plenty of time.
So speaking of stuff, I just want to listen. Like you talked about green. There's green.
I think.
Oh yes. Yep. Oh,
Nice. Very nice.
you must release them from their bondage.
That is the real green stuff in the plastic baggies.
You
Yes.
got that right. That's
Well, that's
awesome.
what it's like when I get started on the Empire. They'll be released.
Release
Yes, exactly.
Release the Kraken.
the Crocker.
So we'll go to the comments real quick, but before we do, Rusty, do you want to just introduce the topic since it was your suggestion to do this one?
Well, the topic is basically what makes you decide to pick a war game. What is it that makes gravitate you to a war game? Things you're looking for in that said war game system.
Yep. What makes it stick around in your
repertoire?
And why do we think people choose war games too? Just
Yeah.
like what are our observations about others as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that our perspective is us. But like
Well,
but
that's
at the
about
same
all I
time-
can offer is what I think. Yeah.
Exactly. Right in the cornfields, you don't see too many more games going on.
Right. Yes.
Children of the Corn,
Well, we
release thyself.
You think about a lot of stuff when you're out there though by yourself. And then we should probably mention that it was Medieval Wargamers.
Yes.
A video from now a couple weeks, two weeks ago.
About a
maybe.
month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, about a month.
Anyway, yeah.
That's what inspired us.
Which
to do this.
yeah, it is really well done video. It's only like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's it kind of got us thinking. Yeah.
Well,
and thinking's always a good thing. I think maybe. I suppose
I'm not sure.
we can if we want to.
I've heard
just
of
got
it.
a few comments here from Chris. I guess just talking about how we're all doing. He had said we are alive, and so I don't want to scare you. But I wonder whether maybe he's talking about weather. I don't know. Like Chris, I don't know how bad it was by you, but I know that in Iowa where Rusty and Dan are, they got a whole lot of snow. But I was telling them that we had a bunch of snow this week, quite a bit of a weather change. Like it's like negative. It went from like being
2 days ago, I was on my motorcycle in 75-degree weather.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
it's 25.
Yeah, it was like positive here, like positive 19, 20, which is of course Celsius, but now it's like negative 23. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Chris says fifth was so fun, talking about additions. Oh man, the green blisters. That was the first time I think you were talking about
Yeah.
them. And then he said, I found a hard plastic slide back blister from 1988 last week, packing my stuff. I think it was for the Brett volley gun.
Oh, that'd be
Oh, yeah.
old.
Brettonian.
Yeah. They used to have a bomb bar or some sort of a cannon. It was one of those that's just be like a War of the Roses era, where it was just this basically this barrel strapped to this big log thing. And yeah, they have seen pictures of that. The volley, if it really is the volley gun, though,
That's Empire.
Chris, those are there was a Bretonnian one, and they're extremely rare. I've seen pictures. I mean, I've never seen one.
It's so rare, I never even knew they had one.
Yeah, they literally did. Third edition or whatever that would have been. Cool.
Wow. Well, Chris, you might have something pretty valuable there.
Yeah, they're you can't find them. They're rare.
Take a picture and put it up on the Musty page after
yeah,
the
dude,
show.
I'd like to see what it is for sure.
Well, if it's available, because I think you said you were packing, so maybe if it's easily done.
yeah, don't hurt yourself.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, who wants to take a first shot at the topic?
Well,
yeah. How about Rusty? Start off kind of what your perspective was when that topic hit you.
Well, what kind of intrigued me, it was like when I was watching his video, and it's like, you know what? There is some merit to the discussion. You say a lot of times we never really think about why we gravitate to games. Yep. We just like, oh yeah, my buddy's playing that, so I guess I'll play that too. But why did he pick that game, or why do you force it upon your friends to play it too? You know, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm always it got me thinking pretty hard about it for a while, weeks ago.
Now I've forgotten it all.
Now I forgot what I thought.
What were we talking about? Where am I? Where are we going?
That is Musty.
Yeah. What?
That's so musty.
So yeah, it's like you look at something, and it's like a lot of times it is first impressions. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. Is like you look at something and you're going, you know what, that looks really cool. It's like you like to say you went to a convention or something or that, and somebody has a little demo of it, or they got it set out, or they got a lot of times what really gets me is the diorama that they may have up.
Yeah.
If you ever go to a convention like Gen Con or Origins or something of that nature, and you see it and you're like looking at it and go, that is freaking cool. And it's kind of like bait type of thing.
Yeah.
That creates a feeling in you, it's like a positive feeling. No, it's a feeling all the same. That's why I brought up feelings.
Got a feeling.
And so that's the very first thing I'm always looking at. Is like, okay, I got a nice little warm
feeling
about feelings.
We don't have feelings. We're men.
It's feelings of love.
Okay.
But so yeah, that's the first thing. So then you look at it, it's like, okay, what is this all about? Is there some type of backstory that goes with this? How does this tie in? Some type of lore that you're getting with it? That I've seen lots of games and stuff at conventions, and they start going off, oh, this is what happens here, and then this happened. It's like, okay, so you do have some backstory to go with this. It's just not more than you just threw out a game system. You thought about this. So there's a bit of thought process that went into it. So you're sort of getting a glimpse into the inner workings and inner mind of the person that designed it. It's the same thing, you know, when you look back at the old days when you first started playing like Games Workshop or even BattleTech or something of that nature, where
Sorry. I was listening to you. And then I'm like,
I thought he locked up.
He's not talking. And I'm like, oh, now I see. Yes.
Yeah. I thought he froze.
no, I didn't freeze. I had to throw that in there. So
You're right.
So yeah, it's that's the first thing that you ever look at, is that how this makes you feel, basically. Gives you that warm fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna leave it at that for right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because we've got a little bit of talking time and time with the
Oh
comments.
yeah, I don't want to kill
So
the whole subject
back tonight. So Dan, what would you like to say about it?
I guess, yeah. I mean, as far as like picking rule sets, well, first of all, I guess maybe I'm just going to say, just to keep it a little bit more focused on one area, because this is a wide-ranging topic, really. It's like, let's say you're looking, because I've sort of done this before, like, okay, I'm looking for a, like a fantasy. I like fantasy, let's say, okay, right? And so then, and then of course, then like Nick had said on Medieval Wargamer, like, well, then you got to break it down to, are you thinking skirmish? You thinking large battle? Are you thinking, and then do you want it to be like a campaign game where where your characters advance, which more likely is a skirmish type of a game. And then I guess, then it's just general stuff too, even like, okay, within the fantasy, then for me, okay, I'll be shallow on this one. The book has to be pretty. I mean, for me, to some extent.
That's the eye candy.
Yes.
That makes you feel good about it.
Yeah, because for me, again, I mean, I think I'm a very visual person, I think, in general, just on a lot of things, just how I learn and what I like to do. But I think, miniature gaming is inherently a visual thing. And so, so that I'm drawn to, if it's got like color glossy pictures and excellent photography that show, a battle scene on the table, because I love terrain. So that immediately I'm sucked in, because I can remember even years ago when I was painting some miniatures, but not really into gaming with them. And I remember going into some hobby shops. And I mean, this would be like when I was in high school. And I remember picking up some books. And I think one of them still sticks in my head. And I wish I knew what it even was. But it was a Civil War rule set. And it was, I don't remember if it was hardback or softcover, but I remember flipping through that for like 15 minutes thinking, this is gorgeous. I mean, they had these huge tables set up, it'd be like a Perry Brothers type setup if you've ever seen their gaming tables.
Oh, yeah, I have.
It was just gorgeous. And I was just...
either Johnny Reb or...
I couldn't even say. I'd have... Maybe if I saw the rule set again, because I've even since, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I thought, I wonder what that rule set was. But, and the same thing too, like with Warhammer Fantasy, just... I remember when I really, kind of got serious and actually did buy something was with 5th edition. And I just remember thinking it's just aesthetically gorgeous. I knew nothing. And that was, that was pre, internet. So, you just went into the gaming shop or you went, had a catalog, you were going to order it through the mail. So you had to make up your own, you weren't watching it played on YouTube. You weren't listening to reviewers. What grabbed you. I didn't know if the rules were good or not, but I thought it looked gorgeous. It tickled my imagination, just the way it aesthetically looked. I guess I have to like the miniatures too. Some of the games, obviously you can use miniatures, it's miniature agnostic, I guess you'd kind of say, or whatever, but there's some different games where I think the rules probably look pretty cool, and I kind of like the genre, but like the miniatures or the way they base them or something, I'm like, I really can't get into that. And so it, little things like that, I think just for me personally, when I look at rule sets, for me, the rules, it takes me, 2 lifetimes to paint an army, and then maybe get a game or two in. So there's very few rule sets. I think Bolt Action would be the closest one that I've done ever, where I feel like I really knew the rules enough to really kind of judge them a little bit. So, if the game's reasonably playable, I'm fine with that. You can even house rule, because I'm not going to play in tournaments. I'm not going to be I'll probably have a gaming buddy or a brother or, Rusty or something that we get together. So it doesn't, the rule set can be kind of whatever. Maybe it's clunky. I don't mind if they're crunchy or if they're light necessarily. I guess I like, I think and I tried to think about this through the eyes of Bolt Action too, because that's what really
second or third edition.
Both, but second edition. Don't say that. I will say, did I play the game Bolt Action with Mark since I talked to you last on the show here?
I think you said that it was better. I think you said you played it again and it was better.
It was much better.
But that you're still thinking you want to go back to second.
Yeah, I would still go back to second. but I guess what I remembered liking about that was it's not terribly complex. For me personally, the game does not have to, it needs to capture the feel. And even by feel, I mean, almost like even can be the Hollywood feel. I mean, because I know some people hate that. Like they want it to be more historically accurate. And I want it to be like it captures the feel of it. I mean, I don't want to be in a battle to start with. And I don't, and so I like it if it captures the feel of it and it gives you some meaningful decisions. I don't want to be doing mental gymnastics, trying to calculate all of these, random things that you got to take into account when you make a move. I don't mind a bunch of modifiers, and I don't mind all that. That's pretty straightforward. But I want things to be like, okay, I can put my commander over here to help him boost the morale of these guys, or I can keep them over here to do this. Even just fun, basic, because a game can be simple, I guess maybe is the word, or uncomplex. I guess simple would be what, but still have very meaningful, pivotal decisions. And that's what I think Bolt Action, at least second edition, particularly did well. And that's where I've got turned off on some rule sets that I've looked at and never played, so I shouldn't judge them too harshly. But where it just looks like really, really just gritty, it just I want my cavalry or my tanks and stuff to be doing sweeping maneuvers and stuff. Not, I want to. Maybe that wasn't how it was, but that's how I want it to look and feel. And then I want control over my guys, but not like. That's Bolt Action does that well, where you've got the dice draw. Everybody does get to move. So you don't have a guy that sits there forever and never moves unless he can't pass a morale check. But at the same time, you can't just completely control when your guy moves, or if they'll pass that morale check. And so it's not like tic-tac-toe exactly, but it's, I know you could say, well, that's not real, and like the commander can't have the bird's eye view of the battlefield. But for me personally, I don't mind that. I want it to be cinematic, to tell a story, to be afterwards. A good game to me afterwards is when you'd have to have played it enough times that your after discussion isn't about the rules, but after you're comfortable with the game and have played it a bunch, where your after game discussions are like, oh man, that was so cool. Like where your guys came around through here, and then could you believe that? And then you rolled 2 6s, and man, and then I got that spell off just at the nick of time. Or could you believe my heavy mortar landed on that squad just before they were going to claim the objective? I mean, I love the win, lose, or draw. I love the stories you can tell after, and so the game for me needs to do that. And then I guess one last thing I will say, and then I'll turn it over. But when you choose a rule set, to some extent, it has to be what you can find somebody to get a game in with. granted, Warhammer Fantasy until Rusty, I really had no chance of getting a game in unless I painted 2 armies and played solo or roped one of my brothers in or somebody to come play, which, is doable. But for me, the fact that I enjoy painting the miniatures and building the terrain just as much as playing, that to me, the rules just give me a direction to collect and to paint and build. Whether I played or not really is not important to me. That's the icing on the cake. So, so I guess as far as rule sets go, whether the rules are old school or clunky or, that doesn't bother me. It just needs to make a fun experience where you feel like you both have a chance to win. There's meaningful decisions, but you don't have to, review the rules for 3 hours before the game and then have the book flipped open most of the time, which some rules are better than others, but if you play them frequently enough, most of that can go away anyway. But anyway, that was a lot of rambling, but those are just kind of
well, and you hit some broad categories. I mean, like you started out talking a lot about aesthetics and the beauty of it, but then you started talking about the gameplay, and then you kind of ended up in some practical situations around ability to actually access games. And the way I kind of thought about this topic was in broad categories like that. For me, I didn't really know initially, like whether we were talking about how do you choose just specifically a rule set or how do you choose a miniature game. And, like I went back. For me, for the beginning of it, it's a genre or a historical period that you identify with in some way. I would say that the passion for the setting ultimately is the strongest thing for me first. And every single one of these main things I've broken because other things were so good. Like I've even played games where I wasn't as passionate about the setting, but loved the game so much that I actually would like it. But the main thing, like the thing that like more of the games that I play are going to be because I'm passionate about that setting first. And I would even go as far as to say that like when you're a little kid and playing Army Men and actually literally like shooting rubber bands and like pretending like you're in it, like because you see yourself in a game in it, you know what I mean? Like you see yourself in it, or whether it's Star Wars and like you so love Star Wars and you just whatever it is, like you see yourself in it. And so there's that. Then gameplay is important to me, and like this is going to change based on the person. Like I know you said, Dan, that like if you really like a lot of these other things, like sometimes the game doesn't have to be the most amazing.
Right.
I personally do find that as I've played a lot of different rule sets and added, that I have a bit of a high bar in the sense that I really want to make sure that I'm really intrigued by the strategy and tactics of the game.
Okay.
And if I'm not, even games that I really like the setting, I will oftentimes put aside until I can find a rule set that I really like for it. It's gotten that way. Now, having said that, if I really like the setting, I mean, like I will like find reasons at times to play these games, but it's just, I really do look for games that really intrigue me, like tactically and strategy wise. And so I think gameplay and enjoying the game and just being like, for me, that is like another really important one. And there are times like I never played, like I'm doing all this painting for Test of Honor now, and I've never played or been like overly intrigued with feudal Japan or any of that, like other than watching Shogun in the 80s. Like, I really didn't have a whole lot of experience with it, but when I played the game, it was one of those ones that I would actually use as an example and say that the gameplay I really enjoyed. Like when I played Test of Honor 1, the first edition, I actually thought at the time this might be the best skirmish game I've ever played. Like I really enjoyed it, and like for quick skirmish. The last thing is practical considerations, and I was thinking time, to be honest. Like I have like friends that have, like, and myself too, just to an extent, but like you have like limited time windows that you can play. And I'm finding that like with some friends that I have like a friend that is a young family that is like close gaming friend of mine that I've known for a really long time, and he has a young family and he works a lot, and that really hampers like what we can get into together as a game. We choose things to play like specifically based on time windows, and
Yeah.
you can actually, there are some games that you can have just like a really good game in an hour, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you just have to, like, I have to sometimes look at things like even Old World and Warhammer Fantasy Battle it's in my perspective quite a long game, like compared to some of the other ones that I play.
Oh yeah.
So you almost like let out a breath of like tiredness when I said that. You're like, oh yeah.
I was shaking my paint.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah.
But I don't think anybody could dispute that, I guess.
No.
Yeah. By the way, I did actually, we were talking earlier and I didn't say it, but just wanted to mention that Simon, New Squallers, that joined us in the house, he's going to be in the comments here. So, hey,
there
Simon,
he is.
Thanks for joining
Simon.
in. Yeah. I don't think I've missed anybody else. We've got some people watching, but I haven't seen anybody else in the comments yet. So those are the three things. And like, I think a lot of the things that make me choose a miniature war game fall primarily under the passion for it. Cause I do really like identify and envy with the folks that at times just like practically mostly paint, and they really limit the number of the games they're in, but they just love it so much. Like just from that the game is almost like you were saying, like almost secondary, Dan, like, and there's that passion piece that's just really strong,
Mhm.
and I think that is a huge driver for these systems, but then gameplay and then just practical considerations. Yeah. And
Cool.
so, yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to go to the comments real quick?
Yes.
We had, I think it starts with Battletech. I will drink to that. I'm gonna have a sip. Chris says Nick the Greek. Yes, that's Nick's stuff is great.
Yep.
Yeah, that's giving him props. Said it got cold and it was in the positive. I think that's Chris talking about
the temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
Chris is saying 4 barrel, 3 crew, and I think he's talking about the
volley gun.
the gun. Unfortunately, it was not in the blister. I wish.
Oh, but even finding that model, I've never seen it. And I just was reading a thing the other day, looking at the old school stuff, and a guy mentioned it that most people don't even know they had that. And I knew they had that bombard or that cannon or whatever they called it, but I'd never seen the volley gun either until I saw that picture that he'd posted. They found in a catalog or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, good find. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a strong drink, says Simon. And Johnny Reb is my bet.
That could be. I wish I knew.
Well, we could throw it up on the screen here real quick while we're doing the show. Just share it on the screen while we're talking. And you could tell me whether that's it. But then Simon says,
I know.
Setting theme first, then how long is game length? Not much time lately. Yeah, that makes, well, for me, that's kind of like some of the stuff that I was mentioning too. I kind of see that as well as being strong indicators for a game. I'm looking at this Johnny Reb.
And that's when you're talking about how the dioramic effect it had on you, that is one of the things that I was saying, is that when you see a lot of these things, you look at them and go, wow, that is so freaking cool.
Yes.
What is this all about? And it's the eye candy aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If I share the screen now, you want me to just share the screen now and you can tell me if it's this one?
Yeah.
Okay. It's here we go. Share screen.
Should be a brown cover.
That's not it, huh?
Click on one of the pictures from the inside of the book.
That actually looks like Hex Encounter to me.
Because there is a hex. Oh, GDW is a hex encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't. When I was looking, I didn't see the. That's what came up initially.
Yeah, because that's a
let me
popular hex encounter game.
Yeah, if I should just say like minus GDW and see if something comes up.
Just
Oh, is it this? Is it this one? Hang on, another one popped up. Can you see this one?
That's
it
also
looks like the same one.
that's the same one you just put up.
Same one?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yep. There were a couple editions of that though, but
Anyways.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's just the main point was that it was interesting.
Oh, here's historical mini rules.
How it had such an effect, especially I think when you're new to the whole idea of, because we play like everybody, played army men and rolled marbles or rubber bands or whatever but to see like, oh, this is like a thing. Like there's rules. We made up our own, but this is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they do show one that's a brown book. It actually, I don't know, it says rewritten for clarity or something like that. But
yeah,
no, you know what? It's more of that hex stuff. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because they've redone that one too. Anyway.
All right, I'll stop.
But I just remember inside it had a lot of of boards set up, and they were just gorgeous terrain, and it was just, I'm like, in the full color pictures, that was gorgeous. It was definitely mid 90s.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, so Chris says that's it. Chris says that was it. That's the mini rules, not hex.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, he says I still have it in a scenario book.
Okay, my bad. Thanks, Chris.
That's all right.
I didn't know GDW, Games Designers Workshop. I thought they were all just hex encounter games.
Yeah.
I
got
some
Johnny Reb rules sitting on my shelf over there.
That's okay.
Okay.
We're getting off on the weeds anyway.
Yeah, anyways.
What's wrong with being in the weeds? It's where the lions
well,
and tigers
as a farmer, I hate weeds. Gotta go. They gotta go.
You're the one with the green thumb.
Yeah.
Well. Anyways, it was something to look into.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things I was saying is that when you see something, it gives you a little bit of inspiration of, well, what's this all about?
Yep.
Even if it is a genre that you may not be really interested in to begin with.
Well,
but
yeah. Well, an example of that for me is just Napoleonic battles in general. I know very little about it, and mostly what I know about it is from watching YouTube miniature gamers, to be honest. But to see a Napoleonic game on a table is, I mean, I don't know. There aren't many things that can. That's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I know like I said, very little about the history, and it's not even a time period that that I'm really passionate about. But I can respect how cool that looks. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying too. Is that visually, again, I could get sucked into something that's not my thing if it's gorgeous. I think I'm like a bird. Like if it's a shiny, cool, and it doesn't need to be the new thing, but just if it's pretty to me, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Well, yeah, but I've that's why I maintain my focus, and I really have my handful of games that I paint, collect, and play or try to play.
And keep it in check, but that's something
I could appreciate it, and I would play a game with anybody. It's just I wouldn't probably invest in trying to paint an army and build terrain and stuff. But
that's one thing I always enjoyed about going to conventions is that you can play genres that you may not want to buy and paint.
Yep, that's true.
Somebody will have the games out, and you're just like, hey, I'll play that for a little while.
Yeah, I'll take a swing at that.
Because it scratches an itch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's like the next thing. It's like I was going to bring up was that we just already started talking about it. Is it a genre that really interests you a lot? You know, in my case, I love fantasy, I love sci-fi and historical, so that pretty much covers everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't leave any stone unturned there, Rusty.
Well, there's reality style games, I guess.
Like modern.
Moderns, I was going to say, yeah.
That modern can be historical.
Well, yeah, yeah, it is, but
When you think of historicals like the first Gulf War and second Gulf War.
Unless you mean reality, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to play Vampire Diary game. Oh,
Okay. Get her done.
You do you.
I guess I'm like Palmer had said too, like miniature gaming to me, I don't know, it is probably a complex psychological thing really, because like some of it is probably even just nostalgia, just like playing with toy soldiers when you were a kid, maybe it brings that together. You get to be creative if it's historical, or even if it's fantasy sort of based in historical, it checks those boxes. It's just because something about a game that can make me feel either it's strictly the spectacle that's gorgeous, like to me Warhammer Fantasy, if it's a table that's got cool terrain and two well-painted armies, that's just pretty. Like I mean I'll watch any two armies play on YouTube if it's because of that. But beside that is like when I play bolt action, to me I feel like that's me. Like that's like I can picture running like up through that ruined building and trying to take cover while this there's this suppressing fire come from this German MG42 or something. It's that role-playing aspect, or that and then if it's done visually well, it's like I don't think like a computer game can even capture that. I mean, it does. I suppose they do in a way, I guess. Just not
if
like
you're
from
playing like Call of Duty.
They don't capture it like your imagination, though. Like it doesn't do it exactly like your imagination.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, it's just because when you do the video games, it take the other than trying to pretend you're literally there and you're not sitting in your living room or your basement or something playing. There's not much imagination left. And
it's realistic, but it's not real.
Yes, it's real, but yes, and then it's you're not being creative either, I guess, during playing that. Where to me, it's fun to paint these, build the terrain, do the thing, and then you use them. It's not just like a display piece, or that's why I can never make myself paint. Like different. I've had people say, "Oh, you should like do a little shadow box thing or something," which I would love to do that. I remember making, in school back when we were kids, for projects you'd have to make a diorama, and I remember loving that. And basically that's what I'm creating is a diorama on the table. It seems like it's justified because it doesn't just sit on the shelf. You're using it. It's just that's a weird thing.
And speaking of shadow boxes, our version of shadow box is our display case.
Yeah. That's true. But the little guys get to come out and get some fresh air once in a while if you so choose.
Exactly. It's like they're not hiding in that thing all the time. They get to come out and play.
And they aren't just standing there fighting that dragon in that one pose. They can come out and fight orcs, or they can do all kinds of stuff. It's sort of like midnight or night at the museum or whatever, where they
come to life. Exactly. That's how it kind of.
They're in their display, but then they get to go out and do stuff.
All right, Gigantor, you bringing us out? Yes.
What a nerd! I'm such a nerd.
I want to watch those movies again. They're hilarious.
Oh, I know. They are good.
Dum dum. You give me yum yums. But yeah. So yeah, it's you always it's like, is it a genre that you like? And for my case, there's some certain games that I just really enjoyed playing. And it's like my favorite. Obviously, what is my favorite sci-fi game? Of all time,
Wh-
which
Oh, which
Okay.
one is it, Rusty?
Tiddlywinks, right?
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
So that's probably my favorite sci-fi system.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Now,
You,
if you want to talk about my second favorite sci-fi system, would have been Warhammer Epic.
Hmm.
oh
Not
yeah,
actually Warhammer, but the Epic version,
Yes, yeah,
because it's a grand scale battle system. Which they remade it now, but with Legion Imperialis.
yeah.
But I like grand scale battles. That's one thing that has always intrigued me is something of that nature.
so what do you like about it? Is it the epic look, just the epicness of it, or like you feel like you're being this general that's controlling this whole, or what gets you about that?
Well, the first thing is when you're talking about a grand scale is that you're actually uh, seeing hordes of models on the table. Usually it's in small scale, like 15.
Yep.
So, which I finally got you into something, which we need to eventually.
Yeah, we need to eventually get them on the table, but they're on a cookie tray or 2 cookie trays behind me here.
Yeah. So you played Armies of Arcana in 15
Yep,
with me.
sure did.
And the cool thing is that you can put a ton of miniatures on the table
Mm-hmm.
and you're playing a massive battle where you feel like you're actually a general.
Yes, that's what I wondered, if that's what you like, commanding the troops, that like this whole grand army thing. That's yeah.
And it's like I cut my teeth on playing board games where you're actually playing. Usually, it's most board games are grand scale game systems where you're talking about let's say a whole front
Mm-hmm.
where you got, or in the case or camp, you're basically playing a campaign system.
Those epic games were meant for people that were meant for grand things in a different time.
Yeah.
Sure thing, man.
Yeah, what he said.
I actually really like Epic too. It's funny you say that because, I was just talking to my friend Dan recently about pulling out the Epic Apocalypse because that's the one I have, and I really do like it. And I play the Adeptus Titanicus, which is also in that scale, but for actual Epic, like where you're playing multiple different types of units, like all the different kind of units, and not focusing on Titans, I do like Epic Armageddon. And so I was thinking of pulling my stuff out and playing my Dark Angels, dusting that off.
Now there's something about it where you're able to see entire hordes of miniatures just running around the table. But when you look at, let's say, Warhammer 40K or Fantasy, where you got a lot of miniatures on the table, but if you're playing, what's the, God, I can't remember, the fantasy version.
Old World, you mean, or what? What do you mean?
You're talking about the fantasy version of Epic? You're talking about Warmaster?
Yeah.
Oh,
Warmaster.
Warmaster.
Yeah, that's
oh,
it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played it in so long, I totally forgot what it was. Well, I used to play that where you're seeing a whole horde of miniatures on the table and you're actually moving around entire companies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Warhammer Fantasy, the large scale old world, you're basically just moving around a company.
Yeah, I never thought about it. No, you almost ruined it for me when you said that like a couple months ago. I was like, I've never really pictured it as like, oh yeah, that's literally 10 nights. Not that I was picturing as being more than that. It was just, I never really thought about it. That's so weird. But you said it. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
When you're playing, let's say, Armies of Arcana, one stand of miniatures was the equivalent of all your knights that you painted up.
Right.
So you're running around with hordes of miniatures versus just...
The interesting thing to me with this is that I could kind of apply this a little bit to Star Wars X-Wing and like Star Wars Armada, like, like where it's very similar. I really do think that both have their place though, because like I prefer Armada like to X-Wing, but at the same time, I really enjoyed X-Wing. And I think at times, although you can do epic scale, grand cinematic shoots like in Lord of the Rings of Helm's Deep and stuff, even during those, they show they zoom down to the individual people to make you tied to the battle. I think that skirmish games or even company-based games, like as you would put it, at times people can identify more to the cinematic aspect of the game a little more when you drill down. There's different types of cinematic experiences, but what I mean by that is like a lot of times smaller scale stuff gives you like the drama a bit more. You know what I mean?
Well, it makes it more personal. See, it's not epic. That's what I think too.
I don't think one is better than another. No. I think that sometimes when you're used to the market primarily being company based or skirmish based, having these epic games being offered is a really nice thing, and they kind of stand out in that way. But I think that they're both kind of popular for different reasons, and so it's interesting because like I also think it's really cool when something you are used to typically being gigantic and unwieldy and not usable in a company game becomes useful and completely doable in a different scale.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It becomes a centerpiece piece that is like you can maneuver around on a tabletop, while in, let's say, if I had my Imperial Knights in 40K, people hate the darn things because they're, when they first came out, because they're just like god machines type things. Yeah. But if you put them in, let's say, Legion Imperialis or Epic 40K, those things just die in droves because there's so many big weapon systems on the table that, it's like, it just got taken out by a shadow sword.
Right, exactly.
It's like, that's a company. You throw an entire company of shadow swords on the table, which are super heavy tanks. That's just, I got 3 super heavy tank companies out on the table. When you think of it in the grand scheme of a large battle, that's nothing. It's like, I just lost a whole company. Okay, move on to the next one.
Yeah. I mean, that like you said, there's one's not inherently better. They do very different things. I think sometimes for me personally, I like the large scale does that epic look, like you see those, like Lord of the Rings, the huge battle scenes, like you can capture that kind of thing with the, small scale and the epic type of rule systems. But you like, and you can for some reason though, it makes it more like less personal. I don't identify with the miniatures like I do even at Warhammer Fantasy. It's like, well, because the individual knights, they get the heraldry and the individual characters. You do have like command stands, and they can even be named stands if it's a historical game. But to me, it's then it almost becomes like they're not like, my brain somehow can't make that be like real. Like that isn't this, real guy. Like I can't picture myself out there or anything. It's just cool. But
I look at it this way, is that
different experience.
If you look at it, if you're playing like an epic scale system, no matter what it may be, you look at the big battle that's going on, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you narrow that battle down to, okay, you got that one couple small little units sitting out there in the center of this big 6x8 table, and you narrow it down to, let's say, this group of stands and this group of stands fighting these group of stands, and then you narrow it down, and you can explode that up into the 28 mil size.
Yeah, you're just zooming in.
Yes.
And that's what I always said. That's the problem I have with 3rd edition bolt action is I always looked at bolt action as, no, this isn't the entire siege of Stalingrad I'm doing here, or even in 1 hour or 1 day. This is, where you're coming in from a satellite and you come in till you're down to this one area that's got, 50 guys and 1 tank. And that's what your game is. And that's the way I look at kind of Warhammer.
It's a snapshot of the grand scheme.
Yeah, this is the far left flank or something or whatever, And so I guess at the smaller scale, it becomes more personal too. Like each guy matters, or each little unit or squad matters, as opposed to we lost 5 more stands.
Yeah.
When you watch Band of Brothers, the television show, it kind of, although they reference like the bigger battles, they kind of like in some ways they take some of these critical actions that happen that are historic and that had really big impact on the war. Like,
but it was just
But we know not all of the actions and not all of the infantry actions had the same impact as the most historic ones that happened to be that's just the way it was in hindsight, right? Like, but sometimes like you want to play those on the table, like those. So like like there's like a tank on that side of the field, and I've got my men here, and there's like whatever like some brush and a hill there, and like I need to get over there and do this, and it's not the same exact feeling in a bigger battle, like is that and so it's interesting.
But it's hard to beat the look of a big bat, with all the little 15 or 10 or 6 millimeter dudes out there, and with beautiful terrain. It still is gorgeous. It's a cool. It's a whole, more command and control. It's all that is there's just 2 different things.
And you can also get the cinematic feel of the big battle where it's like,
oh yeah,
you have like all this stuff going on. You're like, oh my gosh, like I can just imagine like 5 tanks laying firepower down on, like, what I mean, or a whole 10 tanks laying firepower down on an area, with artillery and like all this. Like you can, in bolt action, you can have like a plane come in and provide assistance, but like in some of these games, like even in Epic 40K, like you could have like squadrons come in laying down, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, all kinds of stuff like on a big scale. And it's just very cool. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, no, 100%.
How about I just quickly get us caught up on the comments before we continue.
Forgot where you were.
Well, no, I got it here. Chris says that's the mini rules, not the hex. But then he says, I still have it and scenario books. We're talking about Johnny Reb.
Yeah.
FEW or Few did a ton of mini rules. GDW, he meant. Cons are the only place I can find other Crimson Sky. Cons are the only place that I can find other Crimson Sky players. So I think Simon's talking about just like how sometimes you can get into something, but you just really can't play it unless you travel.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small niche style game that you have hardly anybody that plays it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Simon says the historical like element makes a lot of settings interesting. Being able to recreate a battle in the FedCom Civil War of BattleTech, fight an epic battle of War of the Beard with high elves.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Chris says full thrust and classic GW epic.
Oh, full thrust. That was a fun game.
I've heard of that.
See, I never heard of that one.
Full thrust?
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah. It's a sci-fi system. It's a space combat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. That's
cool.
It's you played Starfleet Battles.
I
did.
know of it. I know
I
it, but I've not
played it.
played it.
That's a good game.
So imagine Starfleet Battles, but with totally different
Miniatures
Setting.
and stuff.
miniatures and backdrop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gravitated it just because I used to play Starfleet Battles, and it was like we came across and like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, we used to
like
play
it.
Starfleet Battles.
Chris says that ranges and movement feels better at a grand scale.
Yeah. He's not wrong. You have to suspend some belief, in a lot. Yeah, the ranges are wonky.
The same, and then you had like Dirt Side was another one with the designers, which was the sci-fi epic style system.
Oh, okay.
Then they had Star Grunt, which was their 28 mil.
Remember all the cards for units for Epic? Oh my god, so many cards.
Oh yeah, I still got them all. But I did like what they did with the new. They changed out the system a bit, where they kind of did a slight redesign of Epic, made it a little better.
Oh, which one are you
Net
talking
Epic
about?
Gold.
Oh, gold. Yeah. Okay.
Made kind of streamlined everything and made it play it still same system, but it just play it more. Took a lot of the things that were kind of wonky in some ways and improved them, edited them.
I'm getting these flashes of gold member.
Gold member.
I like gold.
Mr. Bond.
So Simon says, play 148 Tactics. Each mini is named World War II. Is a named World War II individual. Do you really want to send Jimmy off to die?
Yeah, I remember when that game first came out, and it looked really freaking cool. That is like you're running like one squad. I think it's very zoomed in, and they have their own miniatures and their own terrain, and not that you couldn't use something else too, but and I think that was the only thing that kept me from doing that when it was kind of really getting on my radar. I was deep into bolt action, and I think it is actually 148 scale. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what I remember. But it was, yeah, it was very cool though. It's next level zoomed in.
The thing is that you could easily use your bolt action miniatures. I imagine with that system.
Yeah, you could. I just remember it was designed for, I didn't go in too deep, and I remember when it very, very, very first came out, and watching a couple. And if I remember right, it's been a long time, but I think you only played it like on a 2-foot square board or 3-foot square or something. It's very, very zoomed in. And yeah, you could do anything you wanted. I mean, you could use stuffed animals too for it. It's just it was kind of designed for that, and
anthropomorphic.
Yeah, you could use badgers with
Cabbage Patch Kids
with a bar or whatever. BAR. You're not supposed to say bar. Every time I say that, I get chewed out by some button counter. So
I always call it the bar.
Oh my god!
Browning automatic rifle. Come on.
I know, but you say bar, and I've had people lose their shit on me.
I was the Army, man. We called it the bar.
I was gonna say whatever Rusty says. That's how it is, guys. I'm sorry.
I do loathe the current overcrowded feel of recent editions of Warhammer. No room for maneuvers like an epic scale.
Yeah.
Well, the newest Sigmarine system, I just couldn't get into it.
Well, 11th is coming, right? Like 10th is, I can't even believe how fast they're flying by, because I haven't played since 7th, and even then I mainly played 6th, and then I haven't played since 7th. And honestly, I can't believe how fast it's gone by. Like pretty soon, I'll have been not playing for as long as the last time it'll be 12th pretty soon, and or I guess it'd be 14th to double it. But I was just thinking how long it's been since I've played, actually.
They need to rename it like they did Old World, so you don't have like 27th edition.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you quit doing that?
All I gotta say, if you like 6th and 7th, just play Horus Heresy, because that's.
But they've changed that to now twice. It's no longer exactly the same now, huh?
Yeah.
Like they just came out with 3rd edition, right?
Yeah.
Is that actually? Didn't they make significant changes?
Yeah, they changed some things about how you do a few things, but I have never played the new edition. I'm kind of like stuck in 2nd. So.
Okay.
Stuck in 2nd. Just pop the clutch, Rusty. Go for it.
Yeah.
That's tractor talk.
You got a hill to go down before we pop that clutch? I ain't pushing. I tell you. I've done that a few times. Now, my wife used to have she had a 72 Super Beetle. And she
pushed it to start it.
And at school would park it on top of the hill, and then just let the clutch out and roll down so she could.
I had a tractor I'd do that on. It was when I'd grind feed with, park it up, because the battery was getting weak, and I was like, I couldn't afford it at the time. I think it was way back when I'd started, so I just park it on top of the hill, pop the clutch, and away we'd go. Don't stall it out.
Up by the house then, or
up by that corn crib? Yeah, be a little west of the house. It's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Chris says Ground Zero Games had 3 great rule sets: Full Thrust, Dirt Side, and Star Grunt.
Yep, I got all 3 of them. I love those systems. I love the Star Grunt system, how they use the dice. It's like, if you like the Badgers,
Burrows and Badgers.
If you like how that system worked, where everybody has a different style dice.
Yeah, depending on
Star Grunt was that way.
Oh, that's a neat mechanic, I think.
Yeah, so
then you got to have all these dice,
and it also would go by range, how far you could shoot out. You could shoot somebody at range, but you're only able to affect them with a D4 versus if in point blank you may be throwing a D10 or 12 or something at them.
Okay,
it was a cool system how they worked all that.
Huh. I just hit my brush against my completed piece of terrain.
So far.
Well, so now you're back to square one, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I've done so far tonight.
What do you got going? Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
I just got to let that dry. And then I also was working on this guy.
Sweet.
Oh, there he goes at Anvil. What do they call it?
Anvil of Doom.
Anvil of Doom. Thank you.
He's going to be on his base. He's got his little base he's going to be on.
Nice.
And he's got his 2 minions out front. There we go.
Minions? I thought.
Sweet.
Thought all dwarves were better than that. They're a minion.
Well, the sad thing is that the old Anvil of Doom used to be able to. It's on wheels. So
yeah, that one is. So
it's like you look at this thing on this book.
Yeah.
You got the old Anvil of Doom right there. It's like,
yep.
Yep.
I didn't put the. I tried putting the little banner poles on, because there's supposed to be 2 banner poles on the back, and they just kept falling off. And so I just said, the heck with it. And it's like,
Oh man, you got to have them.
somewhere in
Be
my
authentic.
army, I have a dwarf or 2 holding the as my banner poles.
Oh, there you go.
So
That'll work.
I repurposed them.
Okay, it's not wasted.
When we were talking about, oh, sorry, Rusty.
I'm going to say there's a slight difference. Is I'm looking at this picture, I just realized that my guy has 2 hammers. He's got 2 hammers,
Okay.
which I find interesting. It must be different models. And this here in this picture, one has a staff, one holding a staff, and he has the hammer in the other. So
If you read the fine print, sometimes those pictures are conversions that they do with them and they sell you,
Yeah.
like in the book.
Yes. Yeah, I remember when they do that.
And so, like, sometimes they're slightly different when they do their
yeah, that's true.
And they
photography
tell you,
in the books.
yeah,
You'll see it in they'll have that conversion in the white dwarf.
in the White Dwarf. That's what I remember, and they tell you what parts to order to make that conversion.
Well, maybe they got it in the back. I gotta look. They got a whole bunch of stuff in the back here.
So when we were talking about practical considerations, on the channel, we also talk about a lot, like all of us talk about like things we like about rule sets, like, and about, we've talked a lot about core rules and just like, but like I also like contain rule sets, like where you like rules that you don't feel are going to be changing every week. Like sometimes people the opposite though. Sometimes people like rules, and that's why they're doing it, that can be updated online and that change frequently to freshen the game. Whereas I'm opposite. I actually feel more comfortable when
Snapshot.
When there's a bit of control on the change. When I even like games that are no longer that are out of print for that purpose. That I like how sometimes I just know that what I've got in front of me is all there is, and there's no more surprises.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of a sudden the unit that you were using is no good, or now you got to have 3 of those where you had one, you thought you were done with that, or if you got a couple of armies, all of a sudden you're revamping all 3 of them because they changed some things.
Right.
I'm the same way. Plus, I don't begrudge the company of, producing more rule books or supplements, and usually they're not god awful expensive as far as hobbies go, but I like I feel like I'm constantly behind then. Like, okay, like we talked about Old World. They've had 2 FAQs that are kind of got some major changes in them. And like I've played 3 games and I feel like I'm already like probably the new rule book will be coming out like a year from now, and I'm like, what the heck?
Barely have any games in.
Yeah, it's evolving faster than I am, but I understand, more often than not, people are, if they're playing it every few weeks, and and they need that to keep the game fresh, and that's fair.
If they do go to a new edition, we don't have to go to the new edition.
No, that's true, but you tend to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, even Mark and I, we're the only 2 that really play bolt action against each other, but we still, for whatever reason, went to third. Yeah, but I only bought the Soviet Army book. I haven't bought the Americans or the Germans, and I have full complete armies for both of those. I'm dragging.
I haven't. You're right.
That must keep you up at night.
It does.
Those books out there, those books that are out there right now.
It doesn't bother. I have no desire to buy them. The only reason I'm going to buy them is if I absolutely have to play the. If all of a sudden Mark says, "Well, I'm done fighting your Soviets for a while. Can you get one of your other armies?" I'll be like, okay. So I'll go on and buy the cheapest copy I can find online and go with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's typically what I do. I'll keep perusing
looking for deals,
eBay, and then somebody will have one for dirt cheap for like $10, and I'll pick it up then. But
I think, because it ends up probably they'll come out with something else before I get it'd be like you, Rusty, when you got it, or Palmer, I guess it was, got into you bought the bolt action right before some of the stuff
Yes.
right before. Then Rusty was going to buy the Lord of the Rings one, right? Was it a year ago? And they were just coming out with the new edition. It's like, whoa.
Hold the horses.
Hold the horse. So sometimes that's what's enticing to me, to just like play 5th edition and then tweak some of the things around to make it so you like it. And
Sure.
And then it's closed. It's closed. Everything is done. And but you know,
I think it's FOMO.
Yeah.
I thought I was done with painting, and now I saw something that needs to be painted here that I might as well just do.
So what happens? You turn the light off and you notice details.
Exactly. Actually, I'm looking at an old miniature that I just haven't painted black around the edges. Like it's just this guy here.
Okay.
I don't know if I showed this guy, but I painted this guy for Silver Bayonet. For when we play Silver Bayonet, and I got this I 3D printed this troll.
Oh, he's cool.
Which I do really like him.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really but I never I kind of wanted to paint the rim on this black, but I don't know if you guys ever do that where you just stop at a certain point with something that's almost done, and then it's just the rim around the base, and now it's sat here for 6 months or more. I don't know, but
I wouldn't know anything about having miniatures sitting on my table forever before I get back.
You wouldn't, would you?
Interesting.
I think that we've had discussions on FOMO in the past, and I think fear of missing out is a huge part of the need to continually be on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
I used to have some of that, but I don't have it at all anymore.
Yeah.
I literally don't. Just because I've learned you can't keep up. And I'm not going to burn myself in the new, because I did it for a while, like the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. I've got almost all the editions, not all the supplements for every edition, but the rule book, and I haven't played anything since I haven't messed with it. I haven't really played against an opponent since the very first 2000, 2001, 2002 sets came out. And it's why do I have them all then? Why don't I just wait till I'm ready to play, or I'm actually going to focus on it and then buy the latest rule set? Yeah. It's not like it's a limited run and you can't buy it now, and it's probably going to be cheaper if you buy it later. There's all kinds of gaming online stores that'll have them at discounts, and so I got over that. The only time I have a thing where I got to buy it is when I'm looking at some out of print miniatures or rules or something, and there it is on eBay, and that's a pretty reasonable price. I better snag it because I can't get it next week or next month or next year.
It's right there then.
Yeah, and it's out of print, or they don't, or out of production or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I'll get that. But the other ones, they're still in production and print. I'll get it when I want, and even after it's out of production and print, if I still want it, there's going to be used ones around for dirt cheap. Every time a new edition comes out, you can buy the old edition rules for peanuts, because people are trying to revamp some of their expense. And
I came real close to getting that new getting into that Lord of the Rings stuff. Then it's like, whoa, okay, glad you.
Whoa, pump the brakes.
Well, I have a buddy.
You go ahead.
No. Finish what you're saying. You were.
I was just going to say, unless you're really in the circles, sometimes you don't know that stuff is happening. Like whether you're in the Facebook group or the whatever, or you miss a couple emails if you're on the mailing list from Games Workshop or Warlord Games or whatever. Then all of a sudden you have no idea it's happening, because it's just, if you're not in the know,
Well, I have a buddy that is getting into bolt action, and he's also Conflict 47 too, and he wanted to. He was talking to me about the bolt action that I had, and I said, I've got 2nd edition. I said, and I've not really used it at all. So I said, I'm a little reluctant, and I told him a little bit about some of your concerns with the 3rd edition, but I just. So then, he's all in. He's already bought a lot of the stuff. So So what I told him is, I'll tell you what, what is your painting plans for the next 6 months? And none of it's bolt action, right? Like War Conflict 47.
Well,
And I said,
Pat.
what I said is this, I said, I'll tell you what, because I said, we're likely looking at some time in 2027. And I said, so you paint something up. I've already got an American Army painted. And I said, well, we'll chat about it then. And I said, because at this point now, it's not even relevant. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, it's not like it's imminent. And that's what I've decided too, until I've got somebody that's like, hey, I want to play this rule set. Do you have a painted army? I have miniatures. Okay, I'll buy the rule set. Let's play it then. But otherwise, yeah, and I don't mind buying rule sets just to buy rule sets, because I like to read through them. But I'm not, some of that I don't need to have every single edition of it.
Right.
Thinking I'm going to play it or I'm going to miss out, or all of a sudden somebody's going to call and like, hey, we're going to get a game in tomorrow. Are you ready? Oh, I don't even have the rule set. I mean, that's not going to happen. So, don't sweat the small stuff.
So you want to play
Sure.
Lord of the Rings the next time we get together?
No. Reason being is I want to play Old World. Why? Do you want to play Lord of the Rings? I just said that. I would play it.
I was asked this week if I wanted to play.
Oh, well, you have everything you need.
Yeah.
Except what, the new rule set, or do you have the new rule set?
I got the new rule set.
Okay, I wasn't sure where you went with that.
I think there's a new book that came out this last fall or something, I think. But
fall. Yep.
Because it's been out a year now. So
yep.
They got a new army book with stuff in it, and like, oh, okay.
The reason why. Before we probably should do a couple more comments, but what I was going to say about Lord of the Rings, because I'm playing Pillage, and apparently some of the combat mechanics are very similar to Lord of the Rings, is what people say, and they say it's a good thing, and because I really like Pillage, but I really enjoyed when I played Lord of the Rings, the games that I played. Why I'm kind of hesitant to ever get into it?
Why?
And this may be wrong, but I feel like when I've collected all this stuff for like Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and I kind of went back through decades, and bought old miniatures and all the stuff that I like. Yeah. I feel like for me to get into Lord of the Rings, that so much has come out and so much is out and out of print now, that it's this huge amount of stuff that the only thing I can really get is the latest release, whatever it is, the Ronin that just came out or whatever. And that there's just huge amount of stuff that's out there that I missed out on. In some ways, that's not available unless and with plastics, it's harder to get old plastics too sometimes. But in any case, it's not that I'm overly concerned or worried about it. I'm not dying to get into it, but I did enjoy the games that I played. But I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to get into this because this has been going on for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I already have games that are older where I've went back and purchased all this old stuff, to do it exactly the way I wanted. I feel like that it's gone on long enough and I've kind of missed the boat on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I'm at when it comes to Lord of the Rings, I got a bunch of too many orcs, for that game. And it's kind of like sensory overload when it comes to playing it in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because the rules are really a skirmish rule set, and then some of those armies are kind of horde armies. And it does, I've had that thought too, even when I watch people play it on YouTube or whatever. It looks like, it seems to handle it okay, but it does look a little heavy when you're trying to make it do that game system.
Yeah, trying to make it do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was, all the games I played so far, I've played Riders of Rohan, the Rohirrim, few games so far because I do have that army. But it's like the writers of Rohan do a heck of a lot better than the orcs ever did.
Hmm. Well, I guess that's kind of fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon says, "Yeah, very small table tactics." I think he must have been talking about that World War II game.
Yeah, 148 tactical.
Yeah. I do need to get around to Horus Heresy. Magnus did nothing wrong. Actually, it's funny. I'm kind of a Thousand Sun guy too. Yeah. I really like the Space Wolves Horus Heresy book, but the paired book Thousand Suns I really enjoyed, and I sort of sided with the Thousand Suns too. And I really like the Araman books. I have
Ezekiel
for the future. I have the original Thousand Sun called Tzeentch Renegade model, and I have like 20 of them. So I have like a unit of 20, all fixed pose, like Napoleonics, except like Thousand Suns. They're all like, all of them are fixed, and it's the original Tzeentch Renegade. And I have basically a rogue. I have a rogue trader Thousand Suns force with a bunch of other models and sorcerers and stuff that I'm going to be doing as sort of like a. I'm going to be doing. It's like my bucket list. It's like the bucket inside of the bucket. But I have that because I love those guys.
Speaking of bucket list, Palmer, not to change your train there, but I keep forgetting to ask you. Remember at one point you were wanting to do that large scale
battle systems.
Battle system, yeah.
You
ever still get like the urge, or is that kind of off of
radar? It kind of fell off the radar for a bit. It fell off the radar for a bit, but I'm still going to be using them. I'll still play it. It was interesting, but it kind of some of the folks that I was playing it with,
that's what I wondered.
Jiving with us at the time. Yeah,
that's
wasn't
fair.
jiving.
I just every once in a while I see, because I always have. I'm always looking for some specific raw Partha things. Sure. And every once in a while, a battle system box will pop up, and I'm like, yeah, remember you were gonna do that, and I just.
But I was using some of the other ones too. I got the ones that you got me, but then I also had some other ones. Right. Some they were hobgoblins, I believe.
Yeah, I know they're super expensive and stuff, but
they are.
But it's cool though, and I think about you when I see those. I'm always wondering if you.
It is cool. It's still in the bucket list too to be doing some of that stuff. I'm going to be painting those up for sure. Yeah. Buckets, I have many buckets.
You got it. Me too.
So Simon says 2 hammer dwarf is twice as happy to Rusty's 2 hammer.
That's fact.
Love my battle tech. I hate 3-year rule changes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's painful.
Yeah, it's like when BattleTech did an upgrade, it was very minor.
What edition is BattleTech on, or how do they count them out?
It's still in edition 1, really.
Okay, that's what I wondered. How they?
It's like consider it like an onion. They just add rules to it. They don't rewrite the whole.
That's a brilliant way to do it. Hello.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want some new rules? Here, we'll just add another book of rules.
Yeah, just to add on new things or new factions or new technology or whatever you want to do.
Yep, exactly. That's how they do it.
That's a solid system that can handle that.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to rewrite and throw the horse and baby out, every time.
Yep.
I think the only time I've ever taken joy out of them doing like rule sets every 3 years is when you've exited that system for a while and now you're just watching how you've actually not partaken in it for the last 3 9-year cycles. Like, so you're like, oh, they're doing Warhammer 11 now. I haven't played since 7th.
Yeah.
So it really is no loss to me now. Yeah, exactly.
So how's 40K's health now? I'm every once in a while, just because I do obviously watch some gaming videos from time to time,
I don't really have
your buzz.
There are people that have the numbers, like that look at the numbers, and it's been a bit, but the last time I heard GW's just raking it in. Like they're doing really
right,
well.
But I didn't know if the 40K game system, because I think there's a lot of people buy the miniatures whether they play or not. So I'm not sure that the game needs to be terribly successful.
My area is a fairly big gaming area. So like I'm in a city of like 1 million people, and it has a pretty healthy gaming community, and so does Edmonton, which is like 3 hours north of us, and they're about the same size as
Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
And
so and so I find the game seems to be really healthy.
Okay.
Like I went into like a used bits box sale like at my local store where people were like they had all these totes of used miniatures that you could go through, and they were like 15 to 20 totes, and they were like 3 people deep, and you could not get even near it. And whenever I go down to gaming clubs like to play Old World, we have like 2 tables, 3 tables for Old World, and there's like 12 tables of like 40K, and so I think it's doing like my perception is it's doing very well.
Good. I mean, I want it to be healthy. I just was wondering because I'm not in any circles that would know.
Yeah. No, I think it is pretty popular.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're doing good.
If you heard any go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Finish the comments if you want.
Getting harder to nab 4th edition 40K codices though, Dan.
Yeah, I expect. Since we're on 27th edition now.
Actually, before I get to the second to last comment, Chris has to run. Thanks very much for coming down, Chris. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, good to see you, Chris.
Absolutely. And he says all the buckets.
All the
buckets all. Among buckets among buckets.
Yeah, I've got buckets in my buckets.
What were you saying there, Dan? Do you remember?
We were talking about 40K being successful.
Yeah. We were about to ask something else.
Shoot, I lost it.
That's all right. No worries.
I might come back to me.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like their big driver isn't really the rules. It's the system that forces people to buy new miniatures.
Although I think people just love, I mean, if you're into the style of miniatures that they make, there's nobody else that really does that, anything like that. I mean, they're so over the top. I mean, it's not really my what I would really drawn to, but they're obviously fantastic plastic kits that they make. I remember what I was going to ask, have you heard anything on like the Legacy Old World armies? Are they going to do anything with those? People start saying, well, they've released everything up that they said they would release now. So everybody's trying to guess what the next steps are.
Well, couple things. I do want to get to the Tiger Warriors. Have you guys seen the Tiger Warriors yet?
I haven't heard of Tiger Warriors.
Okay. All right.
No.
But I don't think there's anything official. For the longest time, I'm not really in the loop, but when I've reached out to people that are in the loop, they had said, everybody is kind of thinking that they're going to actually go to the Legacy armies next and like kind of redo them, which I hope, because I want to do my Chaos Demons. Like I can use the Chaos Demon Codex they have now. Like I don't care. I'm doing it more for fun than for competitive, but I hope that they give them some love. But what somebody said recently that these people that are more in the loop on that I was watching on YouTube were saying that they're definitely doing vampire accounts for sure, like without a doubt. Like that, like there's some suspicion that vampire accounts are absolutely going to get a book because of just how popular they are, I think, and they're also really like dominant. They're
really strong with the latest.
Yeah, you make them that way, they're probably going to be kind of popular too.
Yeah.
But in any case. but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
They are really wanting to do new things. So now, gosh, I wish I could. I'm just
Well,
gonna.
I imagine their latest army they released is probably pretty successful.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that.
And the other thing is that the Chaos Dwarf is a legacy army, but they just released a whole bunch of new models, which are the same models just redesigned from the legacy army.
Right.
So the Chaos Dwarves are now in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, that's weird how they've been trying to handle that. They are trying to keep them completely separate, though. But so I'm not sure.
I'm looking at because Jesse just bought a whole bunch of Chaos Dwarves playing Age of Sigmar, and I'm looking at him like, huh.
So this got released 3 days ago. Let's see if I could just. I'm going to show you this and share the screen. Can you see this here? So this is for total. This is for Total War Warhammer 3, but it's for the army they just released for the what are they called? The starts with a C. The
cats.
No. It's not Catacans. What is the name of this? The Oriental kind of army that they just released with the balloons.
Yeah.
With the balloon.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the balloon guys. This is I think supposed to be for them, these tigers.
Okay.
And so I don't know. It doesn't really do it for me.
Me neither, but that's fine.
Well, yeah, and
Cathay,
exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cathay is what Simon says.
Cathay, here you go. Yeah. Those are the real masters. They're the Cathays.
Spot on.
Is it because Mantic did Asian dogs?
Yeah, actually, you're right. They did. It's
Just reminds me. Remember the
Cathay thing is kind of weird to me, but I must be Musty.
Was it Die Hard? Where it's like Asian Dawn. I was just thinking of that Asian dog.
Yeah.
I guess I like the fact that they released something new for Old World that was like lots of new models that people buy and got excited about. And like, from that perspective, I didn't have any problem with it. The thing that I don't like, because I suspect these tigers are going to just rip everybody to shreds when they come out. And like, like the thing that... it's like Tony the Tiger on steroids.
It's like if you watch somebody talk about that Cathay balloon, they're just like, they almost can't keep a straight face. They're just like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even after they toned it down, it's still pretty ridiculous.
Tournaments are limiting them to one. Like they're limiting.
They were bringing like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. And that they're limiting them to one, like without like command or something like that, without a champion.
Something about the command. They told all the special rules they had, and it was obscene.
So this is going to be like 5 Tony the Tigers in a unit, like
Yeah.
But I think overall with Cathay, like my impression is that they just pull the oldest trick in the book every time. Like it's like they release these miniatures. And they're just coming out to kick your butt. You know what I mean? Like they're just coming out there to kick your butt. And it's like, that's where, I wish.
If you don't want your butt kicked, you got to go buy more of these.
Cathay is great. That's what Simon says. Cathay is great. Yeah,
Simon's on fire tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the thing that I struggle with when I played Age of Sigmar First Edition, because that's the only one I tried. Is they did the same stuff. Like they're like, you can use your Gitmob Grots, like all the goblins you had before. You could use whatever you had before. But then they release like the Auric clans and like all these things that come out, and they're like, not only are they so much better on paper, but they can take your units without a problem, but you're not allowed to take their units in your army. Like they did everything they could to kind of screw you over, you know. And and it's just the oldest trick in the book, and that's the stuff that I struggle with. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I like
Games Workshop operated since 5th edition.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, the new codex comes out, or army book comes out, and the newest one's going to have the best stuff. So if you want to be really good at this game, you got to go buy the new stuff.
I always wondered, I try to give them benefit of the doubt, although I guess I really can't. This is being really naive, that it was just because, and maybe it was this way 25 years ago, but when the new army would come out, you're excited about it, and you're trying to make a new twist on it, and they're trying to make it, it reminds me of like a kid designing something. They want to make it better, but they're, the balance part it'll be fine, but I think they do it on purpose. They do now, but I don't know if that used to be the case in like 4th edition, or 5th.
These new tigers are going to come out and they're going to have furious charge and poison fangs.
And they can move like 20 inches, but and 360
and battle
360 frontal arc.
Nobody's going to be able to beat them.
And then they'll have their cavalry be cats on cats.
Oh yeah. It's like they were drinking when they made this stuff up, and they just got in a room and like, I love it. Put it in there.
And they'll have one leader named He Cat.
Exactly.
I got the power.
It's one of the reasons why I really like Adeptus Titanicus, because the game is kind of closed, like the book is closed on it, but it's like you have lots of variety in the rules, like for the different Titans, and like you can choose like different factions. The different factions give you some different rules, but like in the end, it is like fairly symmetrical. Except you all have access to the same weapons, but everybody chooses like different weapon profiles, and then everybody chooses different factions, and then the factions add some flavor, and then like there's just I don't know, like there isn't this power creep in it so much. Like there are certain units that are like some people have trouble with, but everybody has access to them, and then you just like limit what you use for those in some cases, but it's not like only one group has access, like everybody has access to them. So like if you're going to play that way, then I'll just take the same stuff. Like it just kind of balances out, in that way. And so I don't know, like there's certain times where that sort of more confined space, small, like closed rule sets can take this away even among GW stuff.
Oh no, I agree, and that's always a gripe I always have anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Closed rule set, big fan.
Yeah, well, there's an advantage.
Closer on
an advantage.
Well, you brought up earlier, you were talking about how some companies, one thing that Spartan Games always did was that they got away from having to print the books and the cards with all the ship data and stuff. And they did everything online, so all you had to do is download the PDF of the upgraded armies.
Mm-hmm.
And every about 3 to 5, 6 months, somewhere in there, they would upload a new one, say, hey, here's an updated, it's like we did some more play testing. It's like, here's some slight tweaks or here and there. And it wasn't all that bad. It wasn't like you had to buy anything new. All you had to do was just print off like 4 or 5 pages if you wanted to. So it wasn't a big expense per se.
Yeah.
And I did like that.
Well, you feel like you're being worked with,
Yes.
Like I don't mind them fixing things or tweaking things, but like don't make it feel like you're getting hosed over on a tight budget, and it's like, well, I gotta buy it or I gotta quit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like it was like the community was always talking about, oh, this is a little too much, this is a little too weak,
Yeah.
And they actually in the forums would be talking about stuff. Hey, can we look at this? It's a little too much and it's a little too strong. And the next time they brought out a Orbat, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you fixed it. Okay, good, thanks. You listened to us.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the problem, GW has, they have a love-hate relationship with people.
They hate us, but they love our money.
Yeah, well, but I mean, we're people they love their products sometimes, or some of their products or whatever, but they hate how, they're so corporate. Like you don't feel like they're, like GW was back in the 80s, or even clear probably through at least the mid 90s, where it was just like a group art. It wasn't a company in it for the point was to make money. They're in to have fun and to make fun things and be creative. Which, I know that's not always sustainable, obviously, but yeah, so you feel like it's sort of, just this huge corporation that's just trying to screw you over all the time.
What you trying to say, Rose?
Yeah. Well, we've all
But
been
it's
there.
nice when they release those old metal models again, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Boy.
like I said, they do. I mean, sometimes you feel like they give a crap about you, as
Once
a
in a while,
customer.
right?
Just not all the time.
Yeah, no,
Every
that's
once
the
in a
thing.
while,
It's a
they'll
bit
come
of a
out and
mixed
say,
bag.
"Hey, you
It's a
can
mixed
could
bag.
buy this stuff again. We'd like your money."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like smaller even like Warlord Games, which is a large company, they have much better customer relationship. They just, I mean, you can every once in a while see where they're trying to make something right, or they give you a big heads up when the third edition was coming out. And even if you bought one of those box sets that they had, and it had the second edition rule book that came in it, that you got a voucher so that you could get the new edition rule book when it came out.
That's really good.
Just things like that people remember and appreciate, and you feel like, I'll buy stuff from them because, I get it. They can't give you stuff, but they don't feel like they're trying to stab you in the back either,
Exactly.
Like we're in it together. Like we'll support you, and you're going to give us stuff that we want. You hear us when we say we want this or we don't like that, and they have to, of course, pay the bills, so they got to do what they got to do. But it's just a better atmosphere.
For sure. Well, I think on that note, and Rusty's big exhale after the finishing of his drink, we are just past 10. I think things are winding down.
Or past 11. I don't know what time you're on.
Oh yeah, exactly. Mountain time. Up in the mountains, time moves different.
Yeah.
Up in the mountains,
grab a
time moves
Coors.
differently here.
Grab a Coors.
That's right.
Mountain time.
That's right.
Mountain time. Yeah. I think it's a good time to shut her down.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's
thanks.
great.
That's fun.
Thanks, Simon, for jumping on tonight. It's good to
Yeah,
chat with you.
Yeah, I always enjoy Simon. Chris was in. Anybody else commenting? Or was it mostly those two guys?
Those two guys tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun though. It's good to see him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, everybody.
All right,
We'll see you next time.
In a
Take
couple
care.
weeks.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.